Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his spin-dom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child. You tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, scissor me, daddy, like that. All right?
No, you know.
This is not the fucking thing to do. Like,
I think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy.
I
can't help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with their hands, and your fucking hands slam down on top of it and grab his.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, and I'm be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening?
The Capri Sun is always going to be funny. I think that's a good way to always end it. I know we speak on it every single episode, but I like it. It's very entertaining. So,
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoy that wholeheartedly. Welcome to We Got Questions Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Mike Tennessee. I am joined here with the basic one right here. I'll make sure that all is went to the right way this time. Make sure that y'all are following us, liking us, and everything on all platforms. Not just here. I'm live on my Twitch. I'm live on my Facebook right now. So anybody that's on my Facebook side, please go and take a peek over there. We are here to celebrate something special. One of my favorite days because the main woman of my life, my mom. Other women out there like you.
When you moved your headphones, Mike, it kind of made your voice go in and out.
I'm back. All right. I'm back, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm back. But all the mothers out there, so like say you got me, my mama, we got your mama, we got my grandmama, we got Marcus' mama, we got everybody's mama. I'm just naming people's mama. We got Rachel,
I was listening for your sound. I was listening for your
sound.
Oh,
no, they come back. I think when I pulled it off, it just,
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to see who else is in here. Whoever else is in here, let us know if you're a mama or not. Just go ahead and write it. There we go. Natty's a mama. Natty's a mama. Who else is here? Everybody. I'm naming everybody. My sister's a mama. Both of my sisters are mamas. You got co-workers as mamas. I'm just naming everybody right now. Friends, that's mama.
Naming all the potential mamas there could be.
All the potential mamas, all the potential mamas. Like I said, that's one of my favorite days. So nice topic, just Mother's Day stuff. We're just gonna talk about Mother's Day stuff. But the good part about it is that I created topics for this. Do you have anything you want to do in particular, or you just want me to go ahead and ask some stuff?
No, go ahead. I've got some down, but we don't me. We don't have to follow any specific. I don't know if I said. I did say specific and not Pacific because I felt like I said Pacific.
You didn't say Pacific.
Okay, and I was about to.
I heard that.
Okay, I don't. Me. I don't have to follow any specific, guideline. I like to go with the flow, but I do have ideas and stuff. I got some stuff written down right here.
Okay, I'll start it off when you get the chance. But what was I going to say? So I want to start something because everybody is always intrigued and love when Basic gets dressed and she's wearing her shit. What the nails looking like today? Go ahead, show us the nails. Let's pop off with the nails.
I haven't had my nails done in a bit. This is
I'm rocking big screen too. Go ahead, show about the nails,
with the pink tips, but they need to be done soon. They will be done for my birthday, which is in a couple of days. So they will be probably next time y'all see me. They'll be different.
All right, like check out the earrings. Let's look at the earrings. Hey, those
Yes,
girls, man,
these
those girls
little
fly.
my little black
Nice little fly.
tassels.
They got the glasses, of course, popping.
Mhm.
She got the, the lips popping, of course. Got the hair pulled back. Basic. She did it. She doing the thing. Me,
Yeah, thank you.
it's not look like every day.
Thank you, Nat.
FYE. Uh-huh. I guess that means fire, right?
Bye. Yeah.
Fire. Oh, okay. Look, slang that I don't even know. That's crazy work. Anyway,
He
so
said FYE like the music store.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, FYE. That's what happens. All right, so I guess to kind of segue and kick it off, let's just talk about it overall for you. Um, how have you been celebrated on your Mother's Day yesterday? How was you celebrated?
I didn't. I yesterday was a really chill day, which I kind of didn't mind. I think as I get older, like celebrations to me often sometimes look like non-celebrations to other people, just like
Yeah.
not being able to do anything. But my daughter also, she had to work yesterday, so what she did do was like she let me sleep in. I didn't get up and do, like, usually on Sundays is my Sunday reset, and I'll like just clean up everything, and I did very little of that yesterday. Just slept in and relaxed. My daughter went to work, and when she came home with gifts. So she just gave me like all of my little favorites, things that she knows that I love. And just, it was a chill day. I didn't really do very much. I didn't get to go home to see my mom, unfortunately, but she will be up here this week, so we will celebrate with her when she comes up here this week. And yeah, I just laid low,
Yeah.
which always is like a celebration to me. Right? See what I mean? Like, getting the opportunity to stay in bed is sometimes like that's
I can imagine that. Yeah. I can imagine y'all feel that feeling of that getting that rest and that that chill and all the other
yeah.
stuff. Like I can imagine how good that process would feel. Like I don't know. I mean, I could like for mothers because y'all have so much like responsibilities to children. That's a thing. Like you
Yeah.
always want to like feel like that you're like in a way like kind of just being respected in that time. Being able to have that time to yourself and be able to chill.
I don't
Hey,
know.
Lonnie, what up? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Leilani's a mother, so that's
Nice.
that's a,
Happy
that's a
Mother's
fun
Day,
thing.
Leilani.
Yep, she's a mother of course, but yeah, just that y'all get just whatever y'all get. That's how I look at
Yeah.
it. Like, hey, if you need somebody to do this for you, if you need somebody to do that for you, I'm all for it.
Yeah. It's the laying in bed thing. It's not like we were just up and like we were up all night doing something, even though a lot of moms are when they have like smaller children, or like, mine is an adult.
Mhm.
So I'm not up and going like I was when she was younger. But thank you, Leilani. But the responsibility, like the weight, sometimes it's just like the idea of feeling like you don't have to do anything is a vacation in itself. Like, I
Yeah.
don't have to think about what I need to do or what I need to get done and to take care of the house. Like, I'm just taking a day off from taking care of everything. That feels good.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Any other mothers that's in there or anything like that, please let me know. Like, or let us know that you're our mother. We want to try to acknowledge you on your day. That's the best part. It's about y'all. It's all about you. Not to switch the topic. Yesterday was my first.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Mm,
I understand that. I get that. I can imagine like I'm sure being able to relax and just like sit in your feelings probably felt good. Well, not good. You know what I mean? Not good, but it gives some resolve when you just want to like be reflective of the time that you did have with her. So I
that's true.
can understand that.
Natty, remember when it happened. So I hope that you are good. I know that you are. I
Yes.
hope that you have been healing as best as you possibly can from that situation. We all. I don't know what it's like to lose our mother, so you know, I can imagine like it's tough, and I don't want to ever want to know what it feels like for that. So, um, thank you. Yeah, that's like my daughter like to call me twin, and then I look like her. So it's like, yeah, it starts at the kid and he works his way up. So,
Right.
but yes, my mom, she did her thing, and over the years, you can see all the changes that I've been through, hair growing, just, I got bigger in life, bigger in weight. Uh, and but she did a great job raising 5 and plus kids,
Right.
Not that she had 5 plus kids, but just stepchildren and other people. Yeah, so she she did a great job. I would say that.
Oh, good, Nat. Good.
Okay. Good. I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that. All right. So, what do you feel like in your life, and then you can give me one for that would like to ask me about my mother, if that works. Give me something in your life that you felt as though have been passed down to you. Like any cooking, any like talks, anything that you and your mother had that you passed down. Now here's the bonus. What are you passing on to your daughter in that process too? Like, what are you doing?
I will say this. I think my mom and I do parent differently. My mother was very, very strict. She was, I mean, like
Who
very
mom isn't strict at that those days, but
right. But also like I grew up. My mom came from a certain time, and like things had to look a certain way. And listen, my mom, I don't have any qualms with how my mom raised me. We just have certain different parents. There's a lot of things that I allowed Lola to do that she probably would not have allowed us to do. She was like, absolutely not. There's no way, we're not doing that. Like, we have to fit a certain mold. But my mom would, and she would probably, if she were to tell you, she'd probably be like, yeah, we are very different mothers. Cause like the things that I allow Lola to express herself very freely, and my mom was not one of those people. So outside of that, like in that alone, I think we're different. I'm just a very I know I'm free spirited, and I wanted to give Lola the opportunity to, be a free spirit as well and be able to express herself the way that she wanted to. And so that's how we're different. But definitely, I would think like the same structure that my mom gave us growing up, when it came to like how to carry yourself in manners and how to present yourself and all those things. I learned from her. Like my mom was, she was strict, but she did it for a reason. She wanted us to, present ourselves in a certain way and to grow up with manners and to know how to treat people and to be kind and, all those kinds of things. And she just kind of gave us those stepping stones. And those are the same things that I try to pass on to my daughter. Like I said, we do it a little differently, but those core values of like how to be a good person and how to treat other people is very, very important. But also things about like respect and, how to navigate yourself through this world. And the cooking thing, my mom was a big cooker. Lola is a very picky eater, but I'm a cooker. She doesn't always eat what I cook, but my mom was a cook, and so I cook too. Lola's just very picky. My mom actually, the first few years of Lola's life, I lived with my mother and father, and my mom helped me with Lola in those first 2 years. So,
really?
Yeah,
That was a good help.
yeah, so a lot of that, like I didn't know how to be a mom, obviously. I didn't know anything about being a mom, and my mom gave me that that foundation. Like she showed me what I needed to do, like when I wouldn't have known where to begin, when it came down to being a mom. My mom showed me a lot and helped me a lot, and I don't know what I would have done without my mom in those first few years when I had Lola. Like I was a kid, very immature and a kid myself. Like when it came to like my thinking, my way of thinking, I was very much still a child. And so I didn't really know how to raise a child. And I was fortunate enough to have my mom there to help me, figure that out and figure that, how to raise her. So, she taught me about like routine and stuff like that with Lola, and like the things that she would do for Lola, like the way my mom, it'd be funny, like Lola would only respond to like certain types of meat. Like it didn't matter like what it was, but my mom, if you told her it was a certain type of meat, Lola would eat it. Even if it wasn't, everything was chicken. Everything was chicken or steak. Even if it wasn't chicken or steak, to get Lola to eat it. Like little things like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like she just kind of like showed me
Gotta do what you gotta do.
right,
Yeah.
how to like get her through those milestone stages and getting her like to eat and to try stuff that she wouldn't normally, try. So that was cool. Like my mom, she definitely helped me a ton when I first started. My first few years of motherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gave me a lot of foundation when it came to like figuring out how to
Right.
even be a mom, how to even start.
Right. I love that. I mean, I feel like um just hearing these stories and just hearing the familiarity of things and like excuse me, like my mom was a big help to a lot of us when
Mm-hmm.
it came to raising our children. Like she didn't raise them per se, but she just was so like in the beginning parts of her life, like my sister, I know she had moved back with my mom, then my brother had moved back with my mom, then I moved in with my mom for a little bit. My older brother, he doesn't have any children, so it doesn't, that's not a thing. But all of us at some point got some type of help from my mom when it came to our kid,
Yeah.
our kids. So it's like different experiences that all of us have with her in particular. Like we all have like um, different things that she do, like, and you can tell like the way she parent. And I'm about to get to your guys' comments in a second, but the way she parents is different. Like she, my oldest niece is like she get all the issues and problems that we used to get as a kid. My daughter gets treated completely different. You
Right.
know, it's like very soft on her and stuff like that and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like, my mom still is a certain way with her. Like she get a certain way, but it's like Gabby don't, she don't have no need for it. Lay, she just caught all of it. But Lay is like, she's the oldest, so it's like she reminds me like a lot of what my brother had to go through. Not necessarily it's a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
that you're the oldest. You got to watch after your little ones. The little
Right.
that you got to watch after. That's the village raising the children. So it's like,
Yeah.
um, but she loved my niece so much. Like that's her role dog. Like they go everywhere together. So it was like, so they. I'm not saying that they don't do it now, but like she was little, it was always done too. Um, my nephew CJ, he's so much like he's kind of like my brother, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have their differences. Um, so it was like it just sometimes just looking at them is like looking at us all over.
Right.
Like it's just it's a fun time. And then my brother has three other children, so it's like everybody just have kids like crazy around it. You say let's break that oldest kid raising kids curse. I mean, yeah, but it's not like it's your responsibility. It's not our kids' responsibility to raise them, but it's like you kind of pay attention to it a little bit because at the end of the day, it's who they're paying attention to. Most of the time,
Right.
they're not even looking at the parent. Sometimes they're looking at just the person that's right there next to them. It's like my older brother he used to go through hell with that shit. Like, and he
Right.
wanted to be that. That was the difference. Like he wanted to be that person. My brother wanted to be that kid that the leader of the crew and stuff like that. So it was like my mom did throw those expectations at him a little bit, and it's like maybe it was very much so unfair to him because you can tell that my brother had a little bit of an issue when it came to that. But
Yeah.
I do think like he you know and on top of that, like he sometimes we talk now and there's things about his situation with that he regrets himself. And I'm like, bro, you don't have to regret that. Like, it is what it is. Like we grew up a certain way. We don't do that now. You ain't catching me doing it. So it's like,
Right.
if anything, that has been broken, at least with us. Like, I don't have another kid, but I'm not gonna put Gabby in a position for something like that. Like,
Right.
I never did. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, or never will. So like I agree. It just, that just what happened to us as kids. So we're just talking about just our experience with our moms and stuff like that. And, yeah, honestly, it was fun. And our brother will tell you he stressed a little bit, but it was fun for him
Yeah.
because we got into fun trouble. Like we did some stuff that just was like you tripping, bro. So yeah. Let me get to the comments real quick and I'll let you go ahead.
Okay.
Um, he said, "Hey Mike, what up, King? Ipu, what's up? Hey Mike, I got a nerd question. What anime has the best mom/mom figure? Ooh, mm, that's a thing. I'm gonna think about that. I started your comment. I gotta think about that. What anime? I feel like it's on my head, but I can't say who it is. I'll think about that in a little bit. Damn, that was a good question. I like that question. Uh, she said, my mom and I were opposites. I wouldn't say I'm strict, but I'm more structured than my mom was. She was way too free spirited and laid back.
Mm.
Understood. Yeah. Joe Hurden, what's going on? Joe, you want to
Joe.
read?
Sure. Blessings to the panel. I always equate Mother's and Father's Day more as celebrate the parent in your life day to say thank you as some are not blessed to have one. True. Yeah, you can celebrate anybody who could be a mother or father figure to you during that time. Definitely. Absolutely. What?
Man, this one, Nicole Waterson is the best mom in all of media. Argue with your heavy ass Pelly jacket. Pelly jacket. He talk about so you ever watch um oh my god, Gumball?
No.
Amazing Word of Gumball?
I know what it
His
is, but I know.
mom, his mom, she was the shit. I ain't gonna lie, she was the shit. But that woman is a beast. Like she really is. Yeah, she's a beast. Mark, let me know if you want to come up too. You can. But she was a beast. Like I loved her. There's an episode, real quick. I'm gonna say it real quick, and this is the reason why. There's an episode that uh, they wrecked her house, something like that, and she told them to get out her house and clean her house up and get out basically, and they ignored her. Her voice turned into a demon voice, and then they all like she just started saying stuff to her eyes got all fiery red. She just got real like she just looked monstrous to them. You see people start sweeping floors and cleaning stuff like so.
Right.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, mom Dukes is a beast. Like, and she definitely ride with her kids. So if anything, she's a nice version of Pam, my mama. A nice version of my mom. So all right, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with
Okay.
that.
What did you want me to
All
go with
right.
something? Or did you have something
Yeah,
else?
yeah, it's on you. No, it's on you. You
Just
can take
curious.
this. I feel like we
I
can segue into something, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no. Mine is really quick. Well, this one's really quick. I just had a question for like the ladies. I'm always curious to know what
Yep.
um when you found out you were first going to be a mother, what was your for all of the moms, what was your response? I'll go ahead and start with mine. Um
Mhm.
I will not lie to you and say that I took
Hey.
my discovering that I was going to be a mom easily. I did not. I would probably tell y'all that I probably maybe had lost my mind that entire 9 months. Like I think it wasn't a state of denial. It was just like an out of body experience. Like I could not believe it was happening to me. I did not think that I was mentally prepared and that I could even ever be a mom. And I literally just drowned myself in like schoolwork. I was still in college and I
Mm.
drowned myself in like schoolwork and like it was probably one of my best semesters too. I was like hyper focused. I just like I it was almost like I had to in order to not go crazy because I thought I was going to lose my mind at the sheer thought of being like who there was no way you could tell me I was going to be a good mom. Like, I was a kid. In my head, I was still a kid. I thought when I first found out, I was like, everything is over. That's it. Like, the whole world is, everything is over. Life as we know it is over. I didn't even think it was possible for me to be a mom. I didn't think I could be a good mom. I didn't think I had what it took to be a mom. There was no possible way that you could ever see me as a mom. I completely lost it. Yeah.
Right. That kind of segued into one of the questions. So you remember when I was talking about it earlier, it all segued into that mental health side of things. Like that plays a part in it. Like the mental health part of you becoming a mother, like it was taxing on you. I can imagine like there's no instructions book on how to be a mom. You know what I mean? There's no thing that will say, okay, you do this, this, and this, and this. Sure, you can go on Google's and all that other stuff, but you gotta imagine when you were a mom, Google wasn't popping the way it is now. Like
No.
Google was like it wasn't in its infancy, but it was like probably what? How old is she? 20? You said 20?
Yeah.
About to be 21?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta think that's 20 years ago, Google probably was 10 years old.
Yeah.
He's only been around since like what, 1998, something like that.
Yeah.
So
trust me, I wasn't Googling anything about being a parent either.
right, because that wouldn't. But there's like so much access to stuff now, and that's the part about it. Like motherhood is,
lots of books and lots of people, like lots of resources to help people with it.
Yes. Like you got more resources now than anything. So it's like it's not easy to raise a child, no, but it's way more resources for you to be able to care for a child now.
Yeah.
Because there's so much data and so much everything that has been gathered up over a period of time that will kind of help you out with that. So
yeah.
I
know Leilani also had an answer. Nat and Leilani had an answer for it. They were saying, Nat was saying, she said, oh my gosh, I'm going to be responsible for her whole person. I can barely take care of myself. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like who expected for me to be a mother? Who thought that was going to work? Whose idea was that? Leilani was saying, my first initial thought was, is my body going to be cute? Listen, I was too far gone to even think about anything like that. I was just like a lost cause.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine.
A lost cause.
Imagine.
Oh no, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
There's what? No, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay. All right. So, do you have a matriarch of your family? Would that be your mother now?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, my mom is. Before that, for all of us, it was my grandmother. When my grandmother passed, I think we all just, like, all of her children sort of just separately. Well, I take that back. So when my grandmother died, because she was definitely the matriarch of our family, and for so many people, even like cousins, second cousins, for so many people, like my grandmother held a very special place in our family. And when she passed, it was just very tough shoes to fill. It was very, very tough for anybody to be able to fill those shoes. She did have a sister who, for the longest time, like, she kind of took over, and we would all go to her house on Christmas and we visit her. But for the most part, I do think that, like, separately, my grandmother's kids, my aunts and all that, and they sort of, we didn't get distant, but it changed the way we did things when we lost her. And so, because she was all of our common ground, and we had to make it, we had to put a real effort when it came to coming together with stuff, because without her being that glue and holding us together, it just became very easy for us to sort of do things separately and not jointly. She was the reason why everybody was coming together. Like, people did everything at my grandmother's house. She had, like, whenever we came, like, there was never a boring night. Like, before I lived in Georgia, when we lived in North Carolina, we came to Georgia for every holiday. And every single time we came, like there was something happening at my grandmother's house every single night. It was a spades game. It was people coming over like just to hang out. It was like kids coming over just to color and play and spend the night. Like we were doing people just coming over to visit. There was so much that just happened at that house with my grandmother. And so when we lost that and we lost, you know, when she left, it left a hole. And I think it made it very difficult for my mom and her sisters to figure out how to keep it together because they were just, you know, they were mourning. And so it was hard. And so I think it made it very easy for us to sort of individually do things as separate families. We do still try to come together. It's just not as much as we used to, like with cousins and stuff. My mom now though is the matriarch, obviously, of her daughters and like our kids. And you know, our kids are, well, my older sister does have two that are older than my daughter. But yeah, so my mom kind of fills that role for our immediate family now. And I'm sure the same thing will happen, you know, God forbid, when that day comes. You know, we're going to have to figure out how to hold that glue together, you know, and figure out like, what that looks like for us. So,
yeah. Okay. Nat says no mom, grandmother, and great grandmother are gone. Wait, yep, you're the matriarch now.
You might just be the matriarch.
Yep. I still have I have a grandmother on my mom's side, two grandmothers on my mom's side, a great grandma. She's in her 90s. And I have my grandmother now. She's in her 70s. Yeah, she's in her 70s. So, yeah, like that's my matriarch women right there. My great grandmother isn't my grandmother's mother. It's her mother-in-law. But yeah, like it will be my grandmother. So yeah.
What's Marcus's? I feel like people don't fill the shoes of matriarchs because they traditionally carry an unfair emotional load and responsibility of the family. You're probably right, Marcus. I can understand that. I don't know if, you know, I'll never be able to ask my grandmother how taking on that role made her feel. I do know that when I think about things in hindsight, there were a lot of things that my grandmother probably never outwardly dealt with because of the fact that she was the glue that held everything together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
and
a lot
so
of stress.
she had to have a certain amount of strength and resilience that sometimes, and especially for people who, you know, grew up in that era of time, meant overlooking things, if not overlooking things, just pushing things under a rug because you have to be the person that holds the family together. And I can understand how being a matriarch can be very, very tough. Like I can only imagine the weight that comes along with it. And I feel like it gets harder and harder to find people who can fill that spot. Like when I think about
want to. How about that? Even want
would
to.
want to, or who can, like who can take on that type of responsibility, because it can be, you have to think about it. You're often carrying the weight of everyone who looks up to you. Like you're the person that they go to. You're the person that has to not only providing for them in a tangible way, you're providing for them in an emotional and a spiritual way. And can you imagine like the weight and the brevity that can have on a person to take on that type of responsibility? It's not an easy one. You never hear patriarch in the way you do matriarch. That's true.
Yeah, because they consider women to be, we get it. They get it. It's that pressure that you put on women to be the responsible person of the family, all those things. Like, you know, I know it's a deeper root issue that, yeah, no,
Right.
that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sleepy. It's a Monday. So next question. I like this one. I was thinking about this. How do you like, and I'll start. What's a thing that you do as a mother, like career wise, all the other stuff, like for you, your motivation with being a mom, what put you in a position in life right now, like being a mother? Like, was it just having the child? Was it the motive? I guess how would I say it? Was it just was it just her, or was it just like she really kind of pushed you to be greater than what you are? Or was this something that you already wanted to do?
Um, I don't think I had any clue about who I wanted to be or who I could be until I had my daughter.
Mhm.
Um, she gave me purpose. I was just a kid when I was like mentally, I was just a kid
Yeah.
when
Hmm.
I was pregnant, when I got pregnant with her. And I had no direction really. I wasn't in any rush to have any direction. There wasn't a need for it at the time. I was just, kid mentally going to college, having fun. Like when I figured it out, I would figure it out. Honestly, that's where I was. And so when I had her, it pushed me because I had to be someone. You know what I mean? I had reason and purpose to do things that I hadn't even thought about doing, like having a
She
career,
just said it, and she kind of like on point with you. But go ahead, keep going.
like having a career and figuring out my life and figuring out what I was going to do. I pushed through school probably like a lot harder and a lot faster because I needed to hurry up and graduate, at least in my mind. My mind, I had things that needed to be done. I had to work, I had to take care of my kid, I had to provide for her in a certain kind of
Mhm.
way. And she definitely pushed me motive and gave me motivation to be to put myself out there more and really like figure shit out. Cause like I was so go with the flow. I was just like, I'll figure it out eventually. You know what I mean? Like I'm a kid. I don't have to figure anything out and right away. And I think that continued through life. I think all through raising her and her growing up, the majority of the decisions that I've made in my life and the things that I've done and the choices that I've made have all been motivated by what would be best for my kid and what would allow me to give her the best life. And even though I knew that like I wasn't doing everything perfectly and like I wasn't a millionaire, she was my motivation to push hard and to work hard. And I also wanted to show her, um, I wanted to be an example to her that she could do things even when things were tough. You know what I mean? And that
Mhm.
she could survive things. And the only way to um, be a good example to her was for me to like do it, to do it. Like I wanted her to see a certain thing when she looked at me. I wanted to give her an example of the kind of person she could be, but better. So in a lot of ways was my motivation through life to make almost all of the choices that I've ever made had a lot to do with her and what was best for her and what life would look like for her. So yeah.
Okay. I feel like my mom was very similar to that. Like as far as her being able to raise four children by herself.
Yeah.
Now she had people in her life. She had a husband. Um, I don't know how she did it. My mom was a beast. She had the fact that she had four lugging around four kids and still had dudes all the time. I'm like, yeah, she mom the shit. But um I seen it, and this would like how I'm reversing the question is what made me want to be the man that I am now. Just watching her have to raise, like I said, four kids, and figure it out the way that she had to figure it out, putting herself in better positions in life. Because I never paid it no attention until I started seeing her really like graduate school and all that other stuff. I never really noticed how much work she was putting into herself
Yeah.
to try to better her life. She put a lot of work into herself.
Mm-hmm.
She put a lot of sacrifices in the way, and her sacrifices weren't. The crazy part is what she probably was sacrificing actually probably never really panned out to be a sacrifice
You
because we
don't.
panned out to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a sacrifice is if sometimes you do it, but the act is still what like caused the sacrifice to be successful. I never felt like my mom's sacrifices 100% were successful. I felt like she was in position to sacrifice just to come find out your kids is okay. Your kid's not gonna go out in the streets when you had to work at night. And you know, we probably was a little young, but she worked at night and we took care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she probably said it in a very strict and certain manner, but we listened. We didn't burn our house down. We ain't open up no doors for nobody.
Yeah.
But we prepare them kids. So who do coming up in them cribs? You got 4 kids that probably will jump and beat the living hell out of you. Like, so it was like we really took care of ourselves. And like I said, her sacrifices was that she had to go to work and she had to do those things to really provide for us and to make sure that we were good and stuff like that. She always made sure we had our games. She always made sure we had that. For me, being a music head and being in love with like Timbaland and Missy and all the Pharrells and all those guys, she always made sure I had something that I was liking on and appreciating. So she always made sure we was good. Um, she taught us skills that we had as far as like being able to be in groups and entertain ourselves. We were like when I heard the story about like the Wayne's brothers, how they would get in groups and do jokes against each other. That's what we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't as hardcore as theirs was. But we used to do that. We would do games. We would wrestle. We would do whatever it was to keep ourselves entertained. You know, my brother, older brother, had the ability to be able to like do like little game things. Like he would do like a show with stuffed animals for me and my brother. So we fell in love with the show. You know, so it was like there were so many different things that my mom did that I can say was a success in life that really put me in a position to be the type of father that I am. She might have been this way, but she don't realize how I was paying attention and how I was looking at that and the goals that she started chasing, being a double, having a master's. I don't even know. I think she got might have a double master's. I don't know. But my mom passed school now. She's like big in this working for the city and stuff. Being there 20 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and you know really putting that hustle in there. I watched her work at a library. I watched her volunteer at my school as a kid. I watched her do so many different things. And like, I know like I've had jobs like that when I was younger, but I've always had that motivation from her and watching her like, okay, I can move on to a different job and be okay because I watched my mom transition jobs and
Right.
always come out okay. So it's like, that's something that came inside of me. And it's like, it's continuing on. And it's like little things that I feel like her legacy in her way put it inside me. And this is why I am towards my daughter. Like
Right.
I'm very stern with her, but I'm also very like a teacher like a teacher should teach. Not like I'm yelling at her and trying to force her to do something. I just tell her things. I let the experience of what I learned, what I knew coming from my mom and the women that's like my mom, you know, I watched that happen. And this is where I'm at now. So I would say she made me want to be more motivated in life and really try to figure out other ways. Like I still got plans that I got to do some things. Like I feel like I need to take care of my mom in all types of different ways, still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll leave it as that. So all right, moving forward, the next one. Who outside of your mother was a mother figure to you?
Mm.
It could be
Um,
figures with an S. It don't have to be just one. It could be multiple people.
I would, definitely not only my aunts, but like, we were raised in the church. So we had like a lot of people who were in the church who also took on that role kind of for us, like whether it be like my pastor's wife. And in adulthood, it was it was actually in adulthood, I had another woman who felt like a mother figure to me. She worked with me. She was actually my boss, and she had
Hmm.
trained and but I learned so many other things from her during that time and had gotten really close with her while I was working just because she had, as a matter of fact, she had a son that was in the same grade as me. So she was used to having a kid that was my age.
Mhm.
And her, she was a mom, so she was naturally a mothering kind of figure too. And it was just great to not only like learn what my career was at the time from her, but also she just taught me a lot of things about life. Like we just got close and we talked about a lot of stuff that had to do with like life and life lessons and being a single mother. Like she was a single mom to her two boys and I was a single mom too, and she actually helped me a lot because she understood what it was like to be raising a kid as a single mom and working the kind of profession that we had, which at the time, I know I've mentioned this before, probably in the live, that I worked in entertainment with the concert industry for many years. And when I gotten into it, a lot of times that requires you to work like late nights. And she often would allow me to bring Lola to work with me. Lola, like
Mm.
Lola was like 3 and 4, like with me at work, and like during my work days, so that I wouldn't have to spend so much time away from her. And like she'd just be like, we should bring a cot in here, so like if it's like
Oh man, that
late
is so
night,
dope.
like, she can just like sit and sleep. But Lola just like she got so used to being in the office with us, she got so used to like being around like that kind of industry, and she kind of like just grew up in it. And I was blessed enough to like when I left there to go to a different venue, they also were just very welcoming. It wasn't like the kind of like the mothering thing like Shelby did for us, but in my original job, but I was blessed to have that throughout my career, being able to bring her. But she just allowed me, she knew the struggles that she went through as a single mom with her boys and working in that field, and knowing that it could take away a lot of like nights from our kids. And so she always like encouraged me being able to bring Lola to work with me, or especially like on show nights and like show days, Lola would come and she would hang out. And Lola basically grew up in that office with me. So
Mm.
yeah,
That's dope.
she definitely served as a mother figure to me for a while there when she was working with us. Yeah.
I love that. That's what's up. Um, King Yupu says, my big sister was my mom when my mom couldn't be. She even pretended to be my mom when I got suspended from school. Wow. That's loyalty right there. Hey,
Yeah.
she rolled for you. She beat your ass like your mom did, didn't she? um, so I'm thinking of that. So I have a few. I have what's her mother like? I'm trying to see who I can put them in what order. So my godmother, my mom's best friend, since they were kids. Um, that's a mother figure to me. That was my godmother. She was the only person that gave me the same fear my mom gave me when they literally talked the same, almost there and there look like sisters. Like it's crazy. Like you would think they were family, like when they sit right next to each other because they've been around each other, so long. Like
Right.
who else? My best friend and my brother Met's his mom literally like brought all of us in. She's no longer here with us. She passed away 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we lost her. Fucking that. 5 years ago, we lost her, and still to the day, it's still like one of the weirdest feelings. Like I still feel like I'm like, wait, she doesn't even feel like she's really gone. Like, that's the crazy part. But like she literally like she was big on Leo season because we were Leos together. She big on Leo season. She made sure we was good. She always checked in with us, making sure she felt like you know everybody was straight. Every single one of my best friend Mets' birthdays, we were there. Every last one of them. I don't think I've missed one of his birthdays since 10 years old. So um, she made sure that we all did something. And we got pictures of us hanging out and chilling. She was as much as, some of us just look past it, like not my immediate people, but like some of us look in life, look past things like this. Like
Mm-hmm.
she was another mother to us. Like we can always go to her house and talk to her and stuff like that, whatever the case is. So she's particular, but um, I think that would pretty much be it as far as my mother figures.
Yeah.
So if you got something, you go ahead if you want to, but I got other things too, just in case. So.
Hey, Tony.
What up, Tony?
Let's put this up really quick.
Uh-huh.
He's saying, bro, my sister put me in headlocks and rock bottoms for sure.
Facts. Tony said, "Oh, sorry, go ahead."
Sorry, that's okay. Hey, Tony. Thank you very much. I was going to read Happy Mother's Day basic, but I'm basic. Thank you very much, Tony.
Some people calling your actual name at some point.
Tony, do you don't have? Does Tony have kids? Oh, because I was about to wish you happy Mother's Day and like.
She got dogs. She got 2 dogs. That's about it. So
I think wasn't it Dog Mom Day the other day? Wasn't it National Dog Mom Day? I could have sworn I saw that on Facebook. They always making up a day. Tony said, "Hell no."
I have a lizard. So out to your ugly son then. I'm playing.
Oh my gosh.
Lizards ain't cute at all. You say that. But what up, Bulbasaur? Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's
Day. I already know Mark is
Mark, that's why I made that face like
like
praise me. No, go sit your furry ass down. Like get your ass out of here. All right, I got about 2 more. Let's see. Here we go. Mothers on TV. Not the anime one that I was answering. I still can't even think of it, but mothers that's on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Who was like a mother figure that you love the most on TV?
Here's the funny part. The mothers that were on TV when I was growing up were never like my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't say that in a bad way. So, but they were always like, I always felt like the moms on TV were always way more lenient. You know what I mean? And free. And my mom was super strict. So I was always looking at them like, oh, why can't my mom let me have a little bit of freedom? My favorite, not Medea. My favorite TV mom was probably Claire Huxtable.
Of course.
She was a professional. She had an amazing job. She was beautiful and elegant and was like, you know what I mean? She was amazing.
Which Aunt Viv, though?
Aunt Viv was good, too. But you mean with
saying
dark skin Aunt Viv, Mark?
Brown skin or light skin.
Right, or light skin Aunt Viv.
I like both of them, but they weren't. I already know who one of my favorites is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
It was definitely Claire Huxtable for me.
Claire Huxtable? Okay. Mine was, I loved Kitty from my God, that 70s show. That was one of my favorite moms.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because she was raunchy as hell. She was so raw, like she'd be chill, like she was like a housewife that didn't play with her husband. That's just what it was. Like,
yeah,
he takes some stuff and she'd look at him and just start cussing them out. Like she cuts kids out, she yell at kids, she was freaky stuff sometimes. Like I remember when they had the thing where Eric was sleeping and he heard his mom and dad having sex, and he kept saying, "Oh, Kitty," like, and it just kept repeating it over and over again. So yeah, Morticia Adams. Okay,
nice.
Morticia was a little different. Like as a mom, like I can tell a lot of you would like Morticia Adams. Why I like Kitty? Gil. What you mean why I like Kitty? I didn't like Kitty. Kitty was cool as hell. She was a dope ass mom. I know why you like Kitty. All right, Mike. So yeah, that of course, Claire Huxtable. Who can't,
She was just unbeatable. Like, there was nothing she couldn't do. She was glamorous. She was a businesswoman. She had a
Right.
career. She was on top of her mothering game. Like, she was everything.
But I give props to Claire from My Wife and Kids. She was a dope ass mom. She was a funny, goofy ass mom.
I feel like I was too old to be looking at Claire from My Wife and Kids as a mother figure.
Just she was dope. I mean,
No, I mean, like,
yeah.
for me, I think I was too old
I
to
think that
look at
show
her.
came out in like 2000. Like,
Yeah, but like by that point,
how old was you?
not 2000. No, that didn't come out in 2000.
Yeah, it did. Like 2000, 2001.
You sure?
I'm very sure. You got Dexter's mom from Dexter Laboratory. No, she wasn't. Dexter's mom just had wagon. That's what it was. But who
I
else?
am old. Marcus,
Huh?
I will be 43 on Wednesday. I am old.
That was
That
after her
was
time. Damn. All
that was after
right.
my time.
Right. See, King know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't even know what his mom's name is, but But yeah. So, all right. And I got about. mm, All right. So, do you feel like you raised your daughter like culturally? Like, do you feel like you taught her the culture really well? And, you know, how she lives her life now, do you feel like it's a reflection of anything you've been teaching her culturally?
I will say this. In part, yes, but in parts. I don't think there's any way to ever escape like the things that you are passed down from like your mother. And there's a lot of things that exist within that she will always be. But there's also things that I think that I did very differently from my mom when it came to like raising low. I think, my mom was strict, and Lola will tell you I'm strict too. Lola will tell you I play 0 games. And so there's always this level of like, where you can see how my parenting mirrors the parenting of my mother, and just like the way that my mom was raised, and like and traditions and things like that stick, you know what I mean, that are passed down from like generation to generation, that continue to exist with us, things that will never get old. They're just inbred in us, right? But then there's also like new things that I think that are introduced when you become a parent, that you bring into your child's life. And I'm sure me and my sisters have all done it in very different ways. I think there's ways that we're very similar, and that our kids will always sort of like reflect those things that have been passed down to us. But we each, I think, parent slightly different. For me, a lot of the cultural restrictions that Lola probably would have had I chose to parent differently would have changed the person that she is
Okay.
now. And that is the reason why I chose to make different choices. You know what I mean? We all know that in Black Southern culture, especially when you're growing up in the church, there's a very specific way of life that is expected of you, and coming outside of that norm is taboo, and it can be difficult to exist in that space when you know you don't fit that mold.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the choices that I made as a mother had to do with giving her the freedom to be who she wanted to be, comfortably and happily, and so that she had a good grasp on who she was, and so she felt safe in who she was, and she never had to feel apologetic about who she was. And that was just really important to me. So yeah, there's some differences there. I didn't impart some things that definitely existed for me. I didn't impart those same things on her, just because I wanted her to be happy and healthy. And it was more important for me to Yeah, super conservative. It was more important for my child to be alive and healthy and well than to fit a mold that looked like, everything else that was passed down to us, and to look a certain way and for us to be a certain way. Um, yeah, so I made changes, but in the core, the at the core of it, there are core values that still exist. But I'm definitely not the conservative parent that like my mother was. I'm probably not as conservative as my older sister is. Um, I allowed Lola to be who she was, and to, you know, um, feel comfortable and safe in who she was. And I think it's so funny because I think Lola, and I won't take away from the conversation too much, but it's funny because
Yeah.
Lola doesn't know anything outside of that, right? She does not. She has a struggle sometimes understanding people who don't have that same opportunity. Like I told Lola, she's very comfortable with who she is and knowing who she is and her sexuality and all of that. And a lot of people her age, a lot of kids her age might not have gotten that same opportunity to be able to like live in that space and to be comfortable with who they are. And so sometimes she doesn't understand what that looks like for other people. And because she knows who she is and she's very comfortable in who she is, that's not afforded to everybody. And I had to, kind of explain to her, just because I'm a mom who was allowed you to be who you want to be. What's happening?
Go ahead. They
Oh,
think I'm
just
sleeping. I'm
just
playing this
because I'm
game
a
on my
mom
phone.
that has allowed you to like given you that space and allowed you to be who you want to be freely, and to express yourself freely, doesn't mean everybody gets that. Like everybody's parent doesn't give that to them, so you have to give them a little bit of grace. But it was important to me. I just I couldn't bear the thought of her feeling like she couldn't be who she was because
Right.
she had to fit a mold. So that's why I made choices to make certain tweaks and changes to the way I parent as opposed to the way my mom parented and what we grew up in, and what we knew, you know. So yeah, had to just make very conscious choices when it came to
So,
the safety and the health of my child.
right. So, I mean, from just your grasping her when she come in and say little stuff on the show and stuff like that, I can tell
Hmm.
that she's a very reserved, chill individual because
Hmm.
obviously she was raised a certain way. So it's like
Hmm.
she doesn't have to be loud and obnoxious or certain things, or she doesn't have to be this, or she doesn't. She just being herself.
Yeah.
That's the dopest thing about it. So
I'm blessed to have a super confident kid. She's never been the person who tried to like do what everybody else was doing. I so lucky to have that, like to not to have to for kids that can be hard, to
yeah,
want to follow
oh
the
yeah,
the everyone else. Lil has never been that kid, but she also somehow I can't tell you what I did exactly. Like I can't tell you there's a formula or what exactly I did. I just tried
Mhm.
my best, but somehow I gave her enough space to love who she was and to figure out who she was, and to be confident in that and feel good about
Yeah.
it. So
I
that's
think
one good thing.
that's a part of I'm seeing in my child, but I know it ain't about me towards my child, but
Mhm.
it's just certain things that you saying is like, damn, it's something Gabby. She
Yeah.
got her own independence by herself. So um I would say for my mom, as far as helping us out culturally, like she really put us in a certain position to really understand who we were as kids
Mhm.
and then who we are as people, being
Mhm.
black kids, growing up in certain neighborhoods and stuff like that, knowing, you know, her seeing that stuff is starting to get rough, but she never shied, oh, she never shied us away from it. She just really kind of just like told us about it. We always, we listen to the music, we do all this other stuff, and she was very strict on telling us about like don't do this, don't do that. I'm not trying to see my kids in jail, and I refuse. let that happen to y'all. You know, like she moved from areas because it was getting bad and because it was getting certain things. Like, and I mean, sometimes I try to, figure out how the hell she did it, especially having, young young kids that probably was super influential into things like I was a Power Ranger kid, so it was like I can tell, like,
Right.
you know, there's things about me that I know, like for sure. I'm glad that I turned out the way that I am. You know,
Yeah.
I love being who I am, but I think that she really instilled a lot of things into us to help us understand who we are. She told us about how white people can be towards black kids. We know
Mm-hmm.
about that very early. We didn't know about that stuff late. We knew about that early. Um, so it's just it's something that I can say I appreciate her for because she really put that work into like making sure that we knew
Yeah.
this is what it is, and this is what she don't want to happen to us at all. So it's like we're very aware of things, and we've always been we've always held our heads high. We
Yeah.
never was like kids that look down and look like this. Like, no, we was able to make friends with people. We was able to do that. Still to this day, I have the ability to make friends with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why, but I still, that's a testament to her. That's
Yeah.
my nature and who I am can bring people into my life.
Yeah.
So,
Also, just to piggyback off of kind of what you said, and also something that was important to me, I had mentioned that we grew up in like very Southern Baptist, that kind of like culture, but also the area that we lived in was predominantly white. I grew up in that area, and my child was also growing up in that area, and it was important to me to have her. I knew what it could look like. I was lucky that I didn't go to school there my whole life. I didn't go to school in my hometown my whole life. My dad was in the military. I went to military schools for a bit. So when I came over to what I consider to be my hometown and where my mother grew up and where I went to school, it was very, very different. But I already had a different view on what like life looked like. And I knew that I also had to like get my child into a place where she would be more integrated with Black culture. Very,
yeah.
because it just wasn't like we could be the only Black person in her, like she could be the only Black person in her class. There was like, and not that was like, not that she couldn't get past that, but I also knew that it could have an effect on how she viewed herself as a young Black queer woman. You know what I mean? So I needed to make sure that she was integrated with people that were like her, that looked like her, that, that were like her and like-minded, so that she could really be comfortable in who she was.
Yeah.
That was another like thing. Like I didn't need her battling all of that too. Like trying to fit this mold that wasn't even like her. Like, you're the only Black kid in class. It's very easy to feel like you have to assimilate and look and talk and act like those around you just to fit in. And I didn't want that for her either. So I made very careful choices.
Okay. All right. You got anything else, or how we doing this? You good?
No, listen, I feel like there's so many things that we could say, like 1,000 things we could say about motherhood that would probably be like a long, giant, emotional. We did though have a show before when we did our women's panel where we talked a lot about that kind of stuff too. There's just so many things that you can say about being a mom, from like the journey of it, the difficulty of it, the rewards of it, the struggle, what we go through, the changes that it has on us as women, and finding ourselves and figuring out who we are outside of being moms. There's so many things that we could talk about that I think all makes up like the power of who we are once we become a woman, become a mother. Like all of those things, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the struggles, the trying to figure out ourselves. I think all of that kind of like is what is a part of our superpower. Like us just trying to figure that all out. And and push through and persevere, and those are the things that makes moms special, you know. And the same can be probably said for fathers, but like those are the things that make mothers special, like the things that we have to like push through, the things that we have to deal with, the things that are always constantly on our mind, the hormones, the stress, the mental health stuff like you were talking about earlier, the weight of trying to carry your family within a certain way, all of those things, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all of those things compiled is what makes moms like special and put us on like and give us our own little kind of like superpower once we become a mother. So there's 1,000 things we could say. There's really never going to be enough time to talk about it all. But
No.
to everybody in here who's a mom, to everybody who has a mom, anyone who has a mother figure in your life, I hope you took the time to just like say thank you, because you know it's the hardest job, but also can be one of the most rewarding jobs as well.
Yeah. And I love that you said that really like it makes me think like we all like are appreciative to have who we have in our lives, or
Mhm.
if we haven't had them, to have had them, you
Yeah.
know, if they were great women and great people towards us.
Hmm.
Because you know, some people don't have great relationships with their moms,
Right.
but you know, it's tough. But I was thinking of something else. Oh, and to the new mothers or the women that are doing it over again or anything like that,
Hmm.
like shouts out to y'all because it's another journey, you know,
Yeah.
especially when you have young kids, um, and you're just getting into it and you're figuring that stage out. And then you head
Absolutely.
into the next stage of life, you know, like all these different areas in life that you're heading into, like just keep doing it and keep killing it and keep doing being amazing at what you do. There are men out here that gives every ounce of love to all mothers and care about all mothers. You know, we're not just sitting here, you know, twiddling our thumbs like we're here, like and we show up for. Like,
Yeah.
um, it's not a job that I feel like I can understand being who I am. I can't go into someone's mind, a mother's mind, and tell them, "Oh, this is how you do it." No, I don't know. You can imagine what my child's mother go through on a daily basis dealing with my daughter, or just being a mom in her own sense.
Yeah.
Even though I have my own opinions about it, this is not my time to be talking about that. You know, like
Right.
I just say like she's still a mother at the end of the day.
Hmm.
So, um, and you know, I don't know. We just got to learn how to just keep loving and appreciating who we are. And it's like the more and more we keep to these points, the more and more we can keep growing, keep pushing forward and doing our things. Like there are men who are my age and they heading toward the 40s and the 50s and stuff that still act like how we did when we was 10 years old, 5 years old, like towards our moms. We still want to love on them and be around them and stuff like that. Like I'm not too manly to say I'll sit right with my mom and do like I did when I was a kid with her. I'm not that person. Like I'm a mama's boy. So it's like I can be up under my mom if I want to, you know, like and not care no and not feel no pressure to somebody telling me, oh, your mom's boy. Oh yeah, I know what I am. Like I know what I am. So it's
Right.
like we only get one. That's it.
Yeah.
You have many mother figures and many mothers in your life, but you only get one mom,
Hmm.
one person that brought you into this world that loved them. And I know like it's so many different things, like so many other things that go in this world. Like I love that thing, but we just only can talk about who we have as that person. So much as some of us, you know, they get on our nerves or they do this or they do that, like they are awesome people. If somebody's mom just blew up a building, I would understand. That's how we're gonna end our show. Um,
What?
I'm just saying, I understand.
Oh
But
my gosh.
stress,
Wait, we have one more comment. Hold
stress
on.
is real.
Um,
Okay.
what is the best Mother's Day song? Oh,
It probably is Boys and Men.
I was just about to say, isn't it called Mama?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but Boys the Men and Tupac. I mean, that's 1A to me.
Dear Mama was
You
good. Dear
can
Mama
go
was
any
really good.
way. Because if you listen to what he's talking about in Dear Mama, I'm sorry.
Those are neck and neck.
Like the stuff he was saying, I cried as a kid listening to that song. And I didn't know I was crying. I just can feel the pain in that song. Like Dear Mama was a very like important song.
Yeah, I agree.
Dear Mama was so, all right. Well, look, this wasn't going to be a long show. We just wanted to do something special for the mothers and stuff. We'll be back to our regular scheduled program next week. Yeah, only got us next week, and after that week, it'll be off that Monday. I mean, Memorial Day. That 3-day weekend needs to be happening now.
Right.
So
Agreed.
I need a couple of 3-day weekends. We got a lot of 3-day weekends this year.
Yes.
July 4th,
Yeah.
Memorial Day. I think Christmas is on oh God, Christmas is on like a Wednesday this year or something like that, or
Oh, I have
Thursday.
no idea. Ooh,
I think it
excuse
might be
me.
Thursday. Okay. Well, look, I'm not going to go too far into it, but just, you know, we got some holidays coming up that I'm looking forward to. So, we'll see. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for being here with us. I really appreciate y'all coming through. I'll make sure y'all follow us on all of our platforms. It's just not gonna do it. It's
It doesn't
done.
want to do.
It's done with you.
Did it
It is
stop doing
done
it for
with
me?
you. Yeah, you gotta update your computer. Or you not.
No.
You gotta update.
It might be a good thing because it's one last time that I get like a random balloon or something happening when I do like I'm gonna leave it alone.
She done with you.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
She done with you. That's all it is. So I mean, I'm doing my usual. And everybody that supports us up on there. Is that right? Okay. Hey, Joe, that's something you eat. I just like to support the people that supports us. What else we got on here? All right, I think that's it. We done ran out of people. All right, y'all. We will talk to y'all soon. Hey, look, Monday. We love doing our show on Monday. I think that's right. That's a great idea to do it on Monday. Because if it was any other day of the week and I'm yawning, I'm gonna be mad. Like I'm gonna be like, damn, it's like a couple more days left of work week. God
Right.
damn it. So, but, all right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.